try to give companies chances to change their ways and make good choices. And do they learn from their mistakes? Yeah, sometimes I guess, and if we don't give them the chance to change their crappy ways, then why would they ever change? And over the past couple of years, Nintendo has done a pretty good job. They stopped forcing a ton of censorship on third-party games. They've really listened to consumer feedback, but after taking a bunch of steps forward, they're taking quite a few steps back with their new pay-to-win advantages that they're locking behind scalpable amiibos, because they've announced now the second amiibo with a pretty good feature locked behind it. I want to start off with an article talking about the first amiibo that was announced, and then we're going to move into the new amiibo and the new situation. So the first one was for Skyward Sword. It says The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD's new Zelda amiibo repeats a classic Nintendo problem. When we initially heard about this, I personally was so disappointed because I've praised Nintendo. I've thought that Nintendo has done a really good job, and I know a lot of other people thought that they have as well. Unfortunately, though, this is a ton of steps back. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword may not have been the Legend of Zelda announcement most were hoping for at February's Nintendo Direct, but it was a welcome one regardless. I know when I initially heard about this project, I was pretty excited for it. I told myself I would probably end up picking it up. I know a lot of other people were really excited over it as well. It says, although Breath of the Wild 2 is always on the minds of Zelda fans, remakes are also right at the top of the wish list. However, fans can only hope that Nintendo's recent Amiibo announcement doesn't have too much of an impact on the gameplay and reception of the remake. Nintendo caused an uproar among the Zelda community by announcing the latest amiibo for The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. While players could always travel to the sky in Skyward Sword by approaching a statue, the new Zelda and Loftwing amiibo allows Link to travel from any part of the map. Obviously, this is a huge problem. A lot of people are really upset with this, and rightfully so. They are locking fast travel behind a physical collectible item, and I think that having collectible physical items is pretty cool. I think that amiibos are cool, but putting a paywall on important boosts and quality of life features is really scummy. It is a shame that this is what Nintendo is doing, because they have been really good over the past few years with microtransactions and allowing developers to just create the games that they want for the Switch, and instead of taking 5 more steps forward, they're taking like 10 steps back here with all of these pay-to-win amiibos. I highly doubt that they're going to make as many amiibos as they're going to sell copies of the game itself, so it's going to lead to a problem where everyone wants an amiibo and no one can end up getting them. So this is the initial situation that happened. Skyward Sword is getting an amiibo that has fast travel locked behind it, and now $30 Metroid Dread amiibo figures increase players' health and missiles, and you can top off daily with a bunch of health. It says each figure increases capacity permanently and also acts as a daily top-off. So the amiibo figures being released for Metroid Dread will provide permanent upgrades to health and missile capacity. A listing for the $30 Metroid Dread amiibo double pack on GameStop reveals what the Samus and Emmy figures do when users scan them while playing. I was really excited to hear about Metroid Dread. A lot of people were at E3. It was probably the highlight of E3 for a lot of people, because I'm just going to be honest, E3 was kind of a disaster. It really didn't go as well as everyone was expecting, but a lot of people are super hyped for Metroid Dread, and now that we see this, I'm honestly just a little bit less excited, because if Nintendo is willing to do this, what else are they going to do with their new titles? So it says the Samus amiibo will provide players with an extra energy tank, which increases their maximum health by 100, and this will be a one-time only upgrade. After this, players can tap the Samus amiibo once a day to top off their health, getting them out of trouble if Samus is close to death. And of course, the amiibo of Emmy, or EMMI, the robotic creature Samus faces in the Metroid Dread trailer, gives Samus a Missile Plus tank, which increases the missile capacity by 10, and again, this is a one-time upgrade. This for me is so disappointing to see because it makes me instantly not want to support the game that the amiibo is coming out for. I think that spending $60 on a game initially should be enough, but of course, these companies want to keep making money, so they come up with ideas like this. They should at least make these boosts accessible for everyone by putting the items or bundles of the, boosts into the eShop instead of behind a physical item that'll be sold out in minutes. And imagine people in 5 years if they want to play Dread and collect the amiibo. It is already going to be scalped for like $100 at launch, never mind in 5 years or in 10. I understand that they want to make money, so I think that it would be reasonable for them to put a bundle into the eShop for like $5 or $10 if and only if they add a way in game for people to earn it without swiping their credit card and in a reasonable amount of time. Maybe if you had to do like a quest line that took a little bit of effort, that would be okay. That would give people multiple options to obtain something like fast travel in the case of Skyward Sword. You would allow people who don't have time or don't want to grind to purchase it for a reasonable price, but you would also offer it to people who simply want to put in a little bit of extra time into the game. But to put it behind an item that'll eventually go out of production is a huge slap in the face to fans. Anyone who buys the game should have a fair opportunity to buy extra boosts or extra content. They shouldn't be forced to drive to GameStops and Walmarts and scour the internet for a physical item. It is such a disappointing thing to see. I do not like this new way that Nintendo is going. I do not like the fact that they're putting boosts and items behind actual physical items like an amiibo. I'm not into that. I think that that is a very, very bad idea. And again, I understand that they're a company, they want to make money, but this just isn't the way to do it. And rightfully so, Nintendo is already facing a ton of backlash over this. So I want to head over to eBay and show you all how much the Metroid Dread amiibo figure is already selling for. It is supposed to sell for $30 in stores, but scalpers are already selling it for $100. Look at this. $82 with $7 shipping. Metroid Dread amiibo 2-pack, Samus and Emmy. $89. Someone is trying to resell these for $1,000. They haven't even released yet. And do I think the $1,000 one is going to sell? No, but people are still trying to sell them for $100. This is why we can't have nice shiny things. This is why we can't have physical amiibos with pay-to-win features locked behind them. And Nintendo doesn't understand how bad scalpers are, and they just don't care. They only care that they are selling product. Clearly, Nintendo is going in this direction long term because they haven't just done one, they have announced 2 so far, so who knows how many more there's going to be. They could have 5 in the works, 10 in the works. I mean, imagine the price of one if they made an amiibo with pay-to-win features for Breath of the Wild 2. It would easily be $200, $300, $400. But let everyone know your thoughts about this in the comment section down below. If you found this video important and informative, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.